Do-Rag Wisdom here, folks, and welcome to Earth Date Y2K 17.05.08. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about net neutrality and a little bit of healthcare. And basically the theme, of course, is how the GOP thinks that all of us are a bunch of morons. But those of us who have read 1984, those of us who read in general, those of us who question everything politicians do, they can't fool us. Now, this administration is waging a war on us. If you're middle class, if you're working class, if you're working poor, or if you're unemployed, if you're sick, if you're old, if you have a pre-existing condition and you're middle class, work, whatever it is, you might as well just put a gun to your head and blow your brains out. Understand this, folks. The G.O. Putin and the Trump-Putin birther bastard does not care about the real people. They are liars. They are adept at using words to obfuscate their true intentions. They're duplicitous. They are thieves. They are scum. And they just voted in the House to take away health care from millions of people. And give all that money to their rich friends. And that's the war I'm talking about. Alright, let me first say that when they say about health care that the GOP, you're going to have access, that is an Orwellian use of the word. Access. Of course you're going to have access. Everybody has access. We all have access to the beach, right? Unless the beach is privatized, right? And the fact of the matter is you have access under the Trump Care plan, but if you can't afford it, you might as well shoot yourself. And you have to remember this about these hypocrites. They believe in, they're anti-abortion, they're pro-life, blah, 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 the rights of the unborn. Well, what happens if there's a baby born with a pre-existing condition to the parents of middle class, working poor, or unemployed? What happens to those babies? GOP, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. They don't give a... Only the rich, only the powerful, only the wealthy, and you gotta get that through your heads, folks. You can't let yourselves be misguided, because that's what they're doing. I mean, you have to remember, only 50% of our country voted, and this is why we're suffering right now. This guy doesn't have a mandate, but they're going to do everything in their power to push their stuff through. Trump care, health care. There is no health care under this goddamn Trump mother effer. And I'm not yelling at you, but the emotional, just the idea of how these creeps are conning people. I'm glad I'm reading and reading more. I'm glad that I've read 1984. I'm glad that I'm paying attention. And this is the last thing now. I was watching John Oliver, and he had a whole segment on net neutrality. And this is bad, net neutrality. The private companies, internet providers, want to control everything on our internet. So, for example, you know, if if you're watching a program and your internet provider has another program they're supporting and they don't like the program you want to watch, they're going to slow that one down, make it so irritating to force you to watch the one they want you to watch. They have an asshole in charge of the FCC with the big cup of coffee cup. He's got this giant coffee cup he thinks he's... And John Oliver even brought out a bigger coffee cup. And this idiot wants to eliminate Title II protections in our net neutrality. And net neutrality means it's an open field, it's a free and open internet, and no one rich company can decide to slow something down to the detriment of a company that's smaller and doesn't have as much power as that particular company. Now, they're doing the hearings now about net neutrality. Years ago, they solved this problem under President Obama, our last president. And now that this creep is in power, this Trump-Putin creep, he can go, I hope he has a stroke. I hope his brain explodes. I hope he's walking down the street and suddenly drops dead from a heart attack and his GOP with him. He wants to undermine our internet, of course, like he's undermining everything else. In the environment, you know, in law, everything they can, under the free speech, the freedom of the press. So John Oliver had a giant segment about net neutrality, and I'm going to give you some information now if you want to have your voice heard. When you go to the FCC website, they put you through a Kafka-esque nightmare so you can get and post your comments. And if anybody wants to know what Kafka-esque is, by all means, read Kafka. Anyways, here's a way to get to your comments so you can post them quicker. John Oliver made his own URL. Use it. And I just did. I posted my comments condemning the FCC for trying to mess with net neutrality, our free and open internet. This is the URL that John Oliver made. Go FCCyourself.com. Go FCCyourself.com. Then when you get to the page, press Express. There's a word that will say Express. Click on Express and then go to the comment page. Now work with the comment page. Follow the instructions and go everything in the because you got to put your name, your email address, whatever. Go down the page, go to the comments, and then you click on it and make sure that there's a review and make sure your comment is heard. And that's go FCCyourself.com. Go FCCyourself.com and go to the Express, click on Express, and make your comment. And I really thank John Oliver. I thank Bill Maher. I thank Steve Colbert. I thank Keith Olbermann. I thank Robert Reich, Rachel Maddow, Lawrence O'Donnell, the Young Turks, Jimmy Dory, for all this information, for keeping us awake, for keeping us on task to stop these creeps, these bastards, these totalitarian religious extremists, Putin-loving oligarchs from taking away all our rights and turning our country into either Oceania from 1984 or Galley from The Handmaid's Tale. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. And go FCCyourself.com, express and comment. Let's fight. Let's fight.